My name is Michael Guest, and I am here representing myself, and I've been a hunter all my life. I've hunted bears with dogs, never without. I've met several trips where I never got a bear, never saw a bear. It was pretty disappointing, but I have finally caught a bear. And dogs are needed. Man has used dogs for years, for all time that man and dog have been friends to hunt for animals. This thing to stop just hunting bears, I think it's just a subterfuge to anti-hunting, period. First I go to the bears, and then I go to the mountain lions, and then I go to the raccoons, to the badgers, to the birds. So to go that way. They started with anti-trapping, and they were fairly successful at these people, very well organized. I am from the state of California, and the anti-fisher people have successfully closed sports fishing from San Francisco to Santa Barbara. I mean, these people are well organized, and don't let the little thing that is just for the bears fool you. They are anti-hunting, and that's where I'm coming from right now. Is hunting is a right for a man not to go to Albertsons or Vaughn's to buy their meat. Thank you.
Peyton Bryant.
For the record, my name is Peyton Bryant. I've grown up using hounds. Almost all the hounds I have right now are descendants from the hounds we had in Arizona. My hounds are not only considered my animals, but my family. I know all of my hounds' history, what they are, and where they came from. We keep some pups from the mother's litter, and we train them to become as great as their mother and father. My father taught me about their traits, as well as my mother helped me to understand them. My parents brought me up to be responsible for my animals. I know what my hounds like and don't like to do. They like to hunt, and they don't like it. They don't like to be kept away from the hunt. They pursue the animal, and they tree the animal and wait for us to arrive, keeping the animal in its place. We are always a short way away behind the dogs on foot, burning as much energy as the hounds. When we hunt with the dogs, we're always right there. We don't ever let them go off on their own or be by themselves on a hunt. We're always with them. How many of the younger generation do you know of that go out and explore the plains, mountains, and valleys with their father? I don't spend my time on the computer or cell phone or at the mall. I spend my time learning about my environment. When I'm with my father and my sister, I'm either hunting or we're running the dogs. The dogs, it's in their blood to hunt. Once they get that whiff of lion, bear, rabbit, the animal that they're trained and grew up to seek out the scent, they run to that scent with us right behind them. And we keep the dogs safe as they keep us safe. We always we always are we're always with their dogs no matter what. It's what I've been trying to do. It's what I've grown up knowing. And I hope you oppose this petition.
Daryl Purcell.
I'm Darrell Purcell, Lyon County Farm Bureau President. I brought to you last time our policy as Farm Bureau has, and I thought I'd elaborate this time and let you know one of the reasons why Farm Bureau has a policy such as this. It's because I know 6 beekeepers in the Mason and Smith Valley areas that have their hives damaged almost yearly. We also have 5 or 6 ranchers that have their livestock killed. The Flying M Ranch was telling me, Ernie Payne said that they go into his yard, bust down doors, break into buildings, and stuff like that. They do destruction in areas that they shouldn't. You know, you got to control them somehow. Hunting without dogs, you won't be able to do that unless you put out several hundred tags. Maybe you'll get your 20 quota or something, because most guys don't get them without the use of dogs. It's a lot easier. It's not easy. I hunted 35 days last year and never got a bear. We used dogs half the time we didn't. So it's not something that the dogs are, you know, I've never seen one maul a bear. If you shoot the bear and it's in the tree, you're gonna tie your dogs up. You don't want him to get chewed up. It doesn't matter whether you're hunting lion or bear. You tie the dog up before you shoot and make the shot, and if the animal isn't dead, you can finish it. But by treeing them or whatever, you have a close shot, you can make a sound shot that will ethically kill the animal. It's just one of those things that not everything's pretty in life. It doesn't matter whether you're hunting deer or what. There are times they don't always die like a sportsman would like to have them die. But by use of hounds, you can, with bears, you can help control that and not have wounded bears. Typically, they're put down in an ethical manner. And that's about all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Fred Volz.
Good morning. For the record, Fred Volz. The best sport offers an evenly matched competition between 2 teams or 2 individual competitors. When one side cheats or attempts to win without regard for rules and ethics, whatever might be temporarily achieved is ultimately obliterated when the unseemly facts emerge. Roger Clemens, Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, Pete Rose, and Lance Armstrong are just a few recent examples of sports people who have tried to win at any cost and have paid a heavy price for their dishonesty. Even Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton were fairly matched up in their famous duel with pistols. Why then would it be appropriate to give bear hunters excessive and unnatural advantages to stalk their prey? If bear hunters want to achieve something worth bragging about, shouldn't they rely on their personal skills rather than a pack of uncontrolled dogs outfitted with GPS tracking devices? No matter how well trained, dogs aren't always controllable if they smell a scent. Uncontrollable dog packs cause property damage and kill other non-target wildlife. If this commission believes in sportsmanlike conduct, why not train and arm bears to level the playing field against gun, dog pack, and GPS-toting human hunters? Since that step is not possible, the commission needs to stop the dishonest practice of hounding bears, requiring hunters to do the job with a gun and compass alone, rather than employing artificial crutches that give them a skewed advantage and diminish whatever killing they accomplish. Please support the petition. Thank you.
Michael Reese.
And while Mr. Reese is coming up, if anybody else has cards, let's get them in. We've been down this before, that people want to have the last word, so their cards come in last. If you have cards, let's get them up.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner Rob. Michael Reese, Southern Nevada Coalition. Before I start my testimony, I'd like to ask the DAG for a clarification. It is our understanding this is a continuation. Therefore, everybody's given 3 minutes or 6 minutes of your group. Are we allowing duplicate testimony? Because I've already testified in Reno. I'd like to do it again. I know some people have done it. But I know that we were ridden with technicalities on the last one. I didn't want this meeting to get ridden with technicalities.
Okay, we'll wait for Mr. Newton to comment.
So can we go forward with oh.
I'm going going to request Mr. Newton to comment on your question before we go forward, so we don't get stuck again.
That's within your discretion, Mr. Chair. The open meeting law does not specify that there has to be a limit on public comment. That's a limit that you and the rest of the commissioners have agreed to impose. So if you want to allow, because of the unique nature of this, if you want to allow public comment from the same individuals at both meetings, that's within your discretion. If you don't want to allow that, that's also within your discretion.
And I wanted his opinion, and my opinion is you can never go wrong with public comment. Leaving people out is
I
a
was just going to
mistake.
say, Mr. Chairman, I would err on that side.
Yes.
And I would agree, and I thank you for the opportunity to come up here and speak twice. I am the current president of the Southern Nevada Coalition for Wildlife. We strongly oppose this petition. We have in the beginning, we've heard from a lot of different people. You have the hounding people, you have the non-conservationists. It's not, they refer to it as a sport, it's still hunting. Can it be a sport? Yes. But our job as conservationists is planned management of a natural resource. Our plan is, it's no different than building a hedge. You have a group that says, put it in there, plant it, let it go, don't ever touch it. And then you have the conservationists with the groups like ours says, well, what if it doesn't rain? Maybe we should put some water in it. Yeah, we want it to flourish. We want to prune it. We want to keep it going. If you look at the life of a plant, if you will, like that, if you prune it, if you manicure it, if you feed it, if you fertilize it, and you take care of it, it'll expand. Hence, that's kind of what Pittsman Robertson did. The hunters have stood in front of everybody and paid their share. They didn't do it begrudgingly. They said, that's the way it is. That's how it's going to go. We see the dollars. You have banquets that go on. It says, if this is for the sheep putting water on the mountain, this is what we're going to do. The bear, nobody's talked about how many bear have been killed in the last 2 years just from roads. Regardless of the hunters we already know haven't met the quota. We've lost more bear in this state from car accidents, and now where somebody else actually have to euthanize it, transplant it, okay? Talk about accidents that get out in the field with dogs. You know, there's probably more accident of mountain bikers on trails than we've had with dogs in our state. We've had dogs since the turn of the century hunting. They've hunted coons, they've hunted mountain lions. They're a great resource. There is not a houndsman that's sitting in here today, when he loads those hounds up in his vehicle, does not expect every one of them to come back that night. That's a member of the family. They plan on bringing them back. They live and they associate with them. A lot of people that aren't hunters have dogs. Look how excited a dog gets if a owner has a ball, a frisbee. The excitement level for those go up. No different than the excitement level for a hound when he gets to go out in the field. Doesn't matter whether he's hunting pheasants, whether it's a Labrador that's going to go in ice cold water to retrieve a duck, a goose, whatever. A houndsman that gets to go on out and take a hound and go out and hunt bear, hunt mountain lion, is a different breed. Those guys are as dedicated to that hound, not during the 3 months that season's open. It's a year. It's a lifetime. This didn't come willy-nilly. They've invested a lot of money in it. Probably even had some of them trained if they weren't trainers themselves. So with the way the technology has come about, did we have GPS back at the turn of the century? No. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have any of that stuff. So what do? They're protecting their investment. Do they actually, do people actually think that they open up the car door and say, go get them? I mean, it's laughable. No. How do you even know there's a bear out there? Most of them are going to take the hounds and walk out until they can cut a track. Dogs get a scent. They get a feeling through the experience of being out in the field with those dogs, okay, there's bear in the area. Now it's time to go ahead and turn them loose. They might have walked a mile, 2 miles, who knows? But if you talk to some of the people who've hunted with bears, I have never hunted bears with dogs, I've hunted mountain lions with dogs. You do a lot of walking. As you can tell by looking at me, I haven't walked much in a while, but it's an opportunity for them to go out and help maintain the sustainability of the bears in the state of Nevada. We're not killing, like I've said before, hundreds and thousands. We haven't even met a quota yet. With that, I think we should have a spring bear hunt. In the beginning, when they first vetted that and talked about it, I said absolutely not. Well, we can't even, we're not even killing the amount of bears that we asked to be killed. Yet, there's more cars that are killing bears in the state of Nevada than there are hunters. Again, I want to reiterate, Southern Nevada Coalition strongly opposes this petition. Thank you.
Ken Joy.
For the record, my name's Ken Joy. I'm representing Nevada Bighorns Unlimited today. Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to address you today. At the last commission meeting in Reno, I spoke in opposition to this petition by referencing some scientific-based studies on hound hunting black bear. By accepting the petition, the commission would further the proponents of the petition, causing negative impacts for Nevada's bear hunt, our sportsmen, and the bear itself. Today, I'd like to speak to you again in opposition to this petition, but also to discuss some positive aspects of using hounds to manage bear, and to illustrate hounding is the most effective and selective method for hunting them. There are 4 ways we can hunt black bear. First, we can spot and stalk them. The only problem with this is that the crippling rate is significantly higher than that of using hounds. In a study conducted in Virginia, the rate at which animals were wounded was determined to be 14%. The crippling rate while using hounds is less than 1. It is also difficult and often impossible to accurately determine the sex of bears at the distance involved in spot and stalk methodology. Second, we can bait them. Biologically, there is nothing wrong with baiting bear. Several states, including Maine, that have a bear hunt heavily rely on baiting as their primary method of management. The only problem is that baiting is currently illegal in the state of Nevada, and it would take an additional act of this commission for baiting to become legal. Third, there's snaring and trapping. Although it is illegal here in Nevada, it has been permitted in other states such as Alaska. It can result in foot injuries and is not considered an acceptable method universally by scientists and biologists everywhere. Finally, there's the use of dogs. Throughout history, science has proven that the use of dogs has the least amount of impact on a given population. For example, Jim Nason was the principal field biologist in the largest scale study of black bear in the United States to use dogs as a primary capture method. He treated 265 bear without a single dog caused mortality or serious injury to bears. His study included routinely capturing females with cubs of the year in an effort to document the reproductive success and survival to the age of the dispersal from the mother. He documented 23 females giving birth to 60 cubs during the years of the study, showing conclusively that the use of dogs in no way adversely impacts the reproduction rate of treated females. Additionally, he treats several bear for observation 5 or more times, and some as many as 10, and additionally recorded no adverse effects. Of the 14 states that have a huntable population, 8 use hounds as a management tool. Montana does not allow hound hunting for black bear because of conflicts with grizzly bear. Often hunters and hounds cannot distinguish between the track of an adolescent grizzly and a black bear. All other forms of hound hunting are available in Montana. Pennsylvania does not allow the use of hounds because it does not have large tracts of public land like we do here in Nevada, making it impractical to use them. Washington, Oregon, California, and Colorado lost hunting with hounds by ballot initiatives backed by well-financed campaigns of misinformation, not science. Recently, legislative efforts have been aimed at reversing the ban in Washington and Oregon. In closing, hounds have been accepted in the scientific and hunting community for over 40 years as the safest and most humane method of capture for black bear. Young bear can be left alone in a tree. If a sow is treated with a cub, using dogs minimizes the risks of accidentally shooting her. It allows for ethical shot placement, etc. There is currently nothing wrong with Nevada's bear hunt. As a hunting community, we should be proud of our houndsmen and women. Of the 11 bear that were harvested this year, 7 were taken with dogs. All but 1 were male. And the female that was taken weighed over 450 pounds. Please continue to listen to the wildlife professionals who work in this field and our sportsmen by denying this petition. Thank you for your consideration.
Gina Greason.